Conceive, believe, achieve.
This is former UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael Bisping.
Paddy the Baddy here. You're listening to Combat Sports UK.
And you're watching Combat Sports UK.
Hello, my name's Ben Thomas and you're watching Combat Sports UK. Today, I'm joined by the one and only Bryony Tyrell, who returns to action at Cage Warriors 144 this Friday. First things first, Bryony, most important question of the day, how are you doing? How is life treating you at the moment?
I'm okay, thanks, Ben. Yeah, trying to train hard, obviously, and getting in the last stages before the fight. It's okay. It's all good, thank you.
That's what we love to hear. We'll get on to your fight at Cage Warriors 144 in a moment, but we're just going to go back a bit to your last competitive outing. You took on Libby Genjin, a grappling contest at Polaris Squads 3, but it's been almost 3 years now since you last stepped into cage for a mixed martial arts bout. How are you feeling ahead of your return? Are you excited, or are there maybe a bit of nerves creeping in the closer we get to the fight night?
I'm really excited, to be honest, because I didn't expect to get another opportunity like this. Obviously, I've been really lucky with the opportunities I've had, but being on I'm on a loss streak. I am getting on a bit now. I've got to admit that. But so to have this opportunity, it's huge for me, and. I'm super excited. I'm nervous as well because of the stage, because of I'm fighting Micol on a home turf, on a massive show, but it's more excitement than nerves at the moment.
Yeah, I mean it's a historic night in Rome, but let's talk about Cage Warriors 144 a bit. That takes place this Friday on UFC Fight Pass in Rome. You take on Micol di Segni, who's 9-4 as a pro, a very good record. Have you seen a lot of di Segni before in action? And if so, what do you make of her?
I've followed her for a few years actually, because she's quite well known on the scene. She's fought on Contenders. She's well known in the MMA community. I've obviously, leading up to this fight, I have studied her. I've watched her fights. She's a powerhouse. She's big punches, strong, athletic, aggressive. So I am expecting a hell of a tough fight with this one. But I think she's going to be looking to strike. That's my impression at the moment.
So when the cage door is locked, where do you see this matchup going stylistically? Where do you see your clear routes to victory?
So I think all my clear victories have been on the ground. So it's naive of me to think I can take on a power striker and knock her out or beat her on the feet. It's not going to happen. So obviously I want it to go to the ground. I think she probably knows that as well. But, if I rush in for a takedown, she's going to be strong. She's going to stuff it. I can't be stupid with it. I have to be tactical. But yeah, I want the fight on the ground, definitely.
And like we just mentioned there, this fight does take place in Rome, Italy. Unfortunately, it's not the Colosseum, because I thought that would be quite cool, but it is the home of your opponent as well. Micol is from there. She's from Italy. So that kind of will create quite a big atmosphere for her and maybe even against you. What do you expect when your walkout music plays and it's time to walk out in front of the Italian fans?
I'm expecting, maybe a hostile crowd. I don't know. I wouldn't like to say. I mean, I've been in a lot of sort of other people's home territories before, and I've always had sort of mixed, response, like booing or whatever. Sometimes people, are quite friendly. So I don't know. I'm not expecting people to be cheering for me. Let's put it that way.
And out of curiosity, this is a question I'd love to know just in advance. Do you know what your walkout music is going to be yet? Will you maybe have an Italian song as Mind Games?
I do know what my walkout is. I've actually chosen it because my brother's coming out with me. So yeah, it's not an Italian one. I hadn't thought of that. I've actually chose one something for him, which I don't want to say what it is because it's going to be a surprise. But that's pretty cool though. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, you could have played. I don't know what that song is. Is it Nessun Dorma or something like that? Is that?
Oh, okay. Oh God, I don't think I'm brave enough to do that.
Yeah, that would probably split a few opinions in the arena, but
I don't know how to do that. Maybe fighters will. I don't know.
Yeah, it probably won't go down well. But how have you been preparing for your heavily anticipated return to the cage? I've seen online somewhere that you have been heading up to the home of the notorious Conor McGregor, SBG in Dublin. How was that? How was your experience at one of the best gyms in Europe?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's actually the second time I've been there. They're lovely and friendly. It's a really nice place to go. I was only out there for a day this time, but it's really nice. I chat to Danny McCormick sometimes. Obviously, she fights out there. Really wanted to train with her, but she was fighting on Grapple Queens. But she sort of gave me a heads up and said to pop in there. So yeah, loved it. Yeah, really, really nice people. Really, really good fun.
Yeah, it must be such an amazing experience to go there and train under some of the best coaches in Europe.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I didn't see John Kavanagh there this time, but I met him when I fought on Bellator, and he's lovely. So friendly and humble. It's really nice when you meet people like that and they're so down to earth. Yeah, really, really nice place to go. Recommend it.
Yeah, I will if I can afford it, I'll go out there, I promise. But I've noticed that this fight takes place on your birthday. And I've got to say, it's a lovely present from Graham Boylan to fly you out to Rome on your birthday and put you on one of the most historic cards of the year.
I know. I'm very, very grateful. Yes, I can't believe it, really, to be honest. So yeah, I'm hoping it's going to be a really good birthday.
I mean, if your hand is raised, where would a win rank on your list of birthday presents you've had in the past? That's got to be almost up there.
That would be the best ever. It would be absolutely the best ever. A dream come true, actually. Yeah.
Well, there you are. We're hoping for a big birthday present. But like I said a minute ago, this is a historic card on Friday and one of the most anticipated of 2022. Not to mention, it's absolutely stacked with talent. You've obviously got the main event of Dominic Woodin, who's on the verge of maybe the UFC, but you've also got Madars Flaminas, Morgan Shariar participating. Are you looking forward to seeing any of those fights? And in particular, which one are you looking forward to seeing if you are?
So I've been following Madars actually, because he's just such an exciting fighter. You know, comes back from some really bad places to finish his opponent. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that, and it would be cool to meet him as well.
Yeah, I've spoken to Madars Flaminas, and I've obviously watched him on the Cage Warriors cards before. He's such an exciting fighter. What is it about his game that you love particularly?
I think obviously he's really good standing and on the ground, but I think it's the fact that he gets. I love it when a fighter gets out of a really bad situation. You know, you think, oh, that's it, it's over, and they just fight out of it, and then they turn the fight around to dominate. And I think he's done that well in the last two fights I watched of it. He did that, and I just love that. It's just the ultimate kind of warrior spirit, isn't it, to be able to do that? So yeah, I'm just excited to see what he does.
I mean, it should be an exciting card from top to bottom. It's stacked with talent, and I can't wait for it, like you probably can't either. But this isn't your first time fighting under the Cage Warriors banner, is it? In 2018, you took on the high-flying Molly McCann. What do you make of her progression since that fight? I mean, she's gone on to achieve such big things. For example, she's been in contact with Drake. She's won multiple in the UFC. She's been on FaceTime with Conor McGregor. She's got new teeth. What do you make of her progression in the sport?
Well, I mean, Molly's she's living the dream, like, and she always was. She was always had that star quality. She was always going to make it. There was no doubt about that, and it's fantastic to see a UK female fighter just absolutely storming up there, storming through the UFC ranks now. I feel really proud, to know her and to have been in the cage with her and to have trained with her. So yeah, she's fantastic.
When you fought against her and trained with her, did you know she was going to be a star? Could you feel that?
Yeah, for sure. When I first met her, we used to train together when she lived down in Bournemouth. She's got that it factor, that star quality. that drive to just succeed and be the best. So yeah, I knew that, and fair play to her. She's done it.
And like we said, she's been on the biggest stages. She also fought at UFC London. She's fought over in America now. How does the experience of fighting tough opponents like her, like Molly McCann, help you as a fighter heading into this fight night on Friday?
Oh, it's a massive confidence builder for me, because I look at the people I fought. Denise Keelholtz, multiple world champion kickboxer, absolutely phenomenal fighter. Kate Jackson, Molly McCann, some of the best in Europe, if not the world. So I tend to look at that. I think, right, I've been in there with these really dangerous fighters. I fought at flyweight, although I think that was probably a bit naive of me to do that, but did it. And I've survived. I've come out unscathed. So yeah, that is probably my biggest confidence booster going into this fight.
I saw somewhere on Tapology, I think it was. Am I correct in saying you had a fight cancelled with Zhang Weili?
Yes.
What's the story behind that?
So basically, I was in Thailand at the time. So that was when I was 3-0 as a pro. So I was doing well, and I was training out in Thailand. And then I think one of my coaches at the time said I'd been offered this fight, but it was in 3 weeks, and it was the headline in China against Weili. And I looked at her knocking all these people out, and she was 15, I think, at the time. And also, I would have had trouble getting the visa to go from Thailand to China. So I said, no, I can't. I can't realistically do that. But I did say, I'd do it on a full fight camp. Although I know she would have murdered me, but I actually said no. But then they released it, I think, the next day as the headlining event, and announced it. So yeah, there was a lot of back and forth, and obviously it didn't end up happening. But yeah, I know, when I look back and see that, I think, oh my goodness, I dodged a bullet there.
That would have been one hell of a story, going into Zhang Weili's back garden and fighting in front of her home fans. That would have been something incredible. But I want to briefly talk to you about your work outside of mixed martial arts. A lot of people out there might not know you are also a leukemia specialist nurse. That must be such a rewarding yet tough job.
Yeah, it is. It does ground me as well. So yeah, I love my job. It's hard at the moment. We're all under loads of pressure. We're short-staffed, all the rest of it. But it is very rewarding. And if I'm having a bad day or lose a fight or whatever, it gives me that perspective of some people are they're battling cancer, they're dying of cancer, and I'm incredibly fortunate just to be healthy. So yeah, it's a very rewarding job.
How long have you been working as a nurse for?
So almost 15 years. So yeah, Is
that something you'll be doing for the foreseeable future?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's my career now. So I think I'll always be linked to it in some way. And I do like cancer care. It's a good place to work.
And once you've had a tough day at the job, I mean, I know you've just got back from work now. It is 5 p.m. and you've got training at 7. Is now going to training a way of escaping that tough day job?
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Oh God, I'd be an awful person if I didn't have training. It makes me happy. It's what I live for, really, whether I'm fighting or not. Yeah, the training is my escapism, definitely.
And that kind of brings me nicely onto my next question. I love asking other fighters this question. I think it's such a good way to find out about fighters. What's one thing that mixed martial arts has taught you as a person? Anything that it's ever taught you?
I think it's given me confidence, or I wish I'd done it as a kid, because I was a bit I don't know, I just didn't really enjoy school. I hadn't really found what I was good at. Wasn't really good at anything, to be honest. But yeah, finding martial arts has given me like a toughness, a self-discipline. It's given me these amazing opportunities and goals that I never believed possible. So yeah, it's definitely built me as a person. It's a massive part of my life now, and I couldn't live without it.
If it wasn't mixed martial arts, would there be any other sport?
Well, I love wrestling. Like sometimes I wish, if only I'd have done wrestling as a kid, you know, I could maybe go to the Commonwealth Games or the Olympics, and that's what I'd love my son to do that. But yeah, as far as any other sports, other not combat sports, I'm no good at anything else. It's literally some sort of fighting.
Yeah, fighting or nothing. That's what we love to hear. And we spoke about this next question just before we started recording, because I told you this does actually catch a lot of fighters out. I spoke to quite a few Bellator fighters over the last week, and they were at a blank. So, who is your dream matchup, and where would you like to fight them?
So obviously the dream is UFC. So yeah, maybe like UFC London, something like that, in front of the home crowd. And it's difficult because obviously the UFC is just, you know, it's top level, best in the world. I've always been a massive fan of Joanne Calderwood, but I don't think I'd want to fight. It's difficult because I think she's a lovely person, so I don't think I'd want to fight her. But if it was a fight, I think maybe like Carla Esparza, because she's such a good wrestler, and I love wrestling, and I think she'd smash me, obviously, in wrestling. But it would be awesome to just come against someone of that experience and that caliber, and just to see what happened, really. Wow. So I think that would be on UFC London.
Well, let's not rule it out. You never know what's in the future. Something could happen. But where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? Do you see yourself maybe in a coaching role?
So I do coach at the moment. I tend to cover the fight coaching at the gym, or I support people that want to fight, because I've competed in so many different disciplines like K1, Muay Thai, MMA, grappling. At quite a high level, that's where my knowledge and my expertise are. I think that where I can help people, because you can be a coach and teach all the different disciplines, but I think, you know, just training and fighting are so different, and it's just getting that mindset for people that actually want to compete. So that's what I'm doing in a coaching role at the moment. But yeah, I definitely want to do that more when I'm not fighting, because it's difficult to balance the two.
And finally, for those out there listening now who maybe haven't seen you fight before, what should they expect when you step into the cage on Friday night at Cage Warriors 144?
Well, the way I see this fight is I've got nothing to lose and everything to prove. So I'm putting everything into it. Absolutely everything. And I feel like I didn't perform well last time I was on Cage Warriors, so I'm making up for that this time. I'm just gonna smash everything that I can out of it. So I hope it's going to be an exciting fight, and I would love to get the finish.
Well, Bryony, those are all the questions I have for you today. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your hectic schedule to talk with me today. We wish you all the best of luck on Friday night at Cage Warriors 144, which takes place on live UFC Fight Pass. Go check it out. Thank you for joining me, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much, Ben. Thank you for your time, and thank you for asking me.
Thank you.